Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Frankie Corcoran. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. We're here today for our special Insiders podcast on our latest production, which was Norm Foster's The Ladies Foursome. Thank you so much to everybody who came out to see the show this past week. It was a great success, and we were just so thrilled and were overwhelmed by all the love that you guys have given us. And it's always just great to be able to do what you love and for people to see it and just to kind of look at it and reflect on it now that it's all done. It's just a great feeling. It really is. So thank you to everybody who came out and watched it. Of course, it was June 12th and 13th this past Friday and Saturday, and it was a great experience overall. And so for today's episode, we have some of the cast and crew on. Before we start today, at the same venue that we performed this one at, there's another play that's going on there this weekend from Character Matters Miramichi. The Case of the Inscrutable Skull. Local historian and her friend, a judge, look to solve a mystery from 1886 at French Fork Cove. So the show runs June 19th, 20th, and 21st at the St. James and St. John United Church Center. Tickets are $20. They can be purchased at the door or on Eventbrite. So be sure to go check that out. It's going to be a great time. We got lots going on this summer. Of course, Rocket River Fest is something that I always include the link to the website in our show notes. Big concert this summer. Brett Kissel, Amelia Underhill, Amber Walls, and Signal Hill. Be sure to get your tickets to that. The link to rockandriverfest.ca is in the description. That's coming up on July 25th. And it's going to be a good summer. I'm super excited. I just wish the weather would actually just make up its mind what it's going to do. Is it going to be warm? Is it going to be hot? Is it going to be cold? Whatever the case may be, I'd rather have you just pick one or the other. But so for today's Insiders podcast, was very excited. We have 3 of the 4 cast members, the actresses who were on the show. Of course, Heather Cox, Kim Volpe, and Patti O'Shea. Ashley Barrio could not be here for today's episode, but just a big shout out to her if she's listening to this. It was just such an amazing cast. We had such an amazing cast, and I always have a blast working with them. And so we also have them, but Norm Foster himself, who wrote the play, he is back on the podcast. He was on the podcast a few years ago, actually. I'm not sure, it was probably our second year I think it was on. I'll have to go back and check, but great time. Had a blast chatting with them all to kind of reflect on this whole experience. And so if you guys liked the episode or you like the podcast as a whole, first off, thank you for listening to us. We're just over 300 episodes now. But if you like the show and you want to support it even more, be sure to give us a nice little review, rating, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to this show from. Always helps us out. And so without further ado, guys, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast today. All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I am your host, Frankie Corcoran, as always. And we're here today with our special Insiders podcast for our latest Corcoran Entertainment production, The Ladies Foursome by Norm Foster. It ran, of course, June 12th and 13th. Thank you to everybody who came out to the show. And now we are going to give you just a little bit of This is kind of a little bit of the making, I guess you could say, but you're not seeing it. You're just listening to it. But today I'm joined by, of course, the man who wrote the play, Norm Foster. Norm, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Good.
And I am also joined by Kim Volpe, who, of course, played the character Connie. Kim, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
And below her, we have Tate, played by Heather Cox. Hello. And beside her, last but not least, we have Margot, Patti O'Shea.
Hello.
Thank you all for coming on. And of course, we're missing Ashley Barrio, who sends love, lots of love. So as I mentioned, this was such a fun show to do in the sense of like not just how it all came together, but I always say if you don't, you can have the best script in the world, but it's a matter of if you have the right people, that's really what makes it what it is. And so, Norm, you've been doing this for a long time, writing so many plays. I think I had it read that it was like 75 plays, over 75 plays you've written through your career.
Yeah.
And now when you see people like, of course, we have Patti and Heather and Kim here who are playing characters that you have had in your mind for so long and have put it to pen and paper, do you still kind of get even this point on like, holy crap, like I'm actually talking to people who are bringing my work to life? Like, how has the feeling changed over the years?
I still get excited in like the first day of rehearsal and stuff, and when a new show starts. And on opening night, of course, I get nervous, hoping that the audience is going to like it. And but I never have, to my knowledge, been disappointed in a performance by an actor in a show. They're really the people who do the shows. For one thing, people who do it in amateur theater. I don't like to call it amateur, but not professional theater. They do it for the love of the theater, right? They don't do it because they're getting paid for it, and that's a whole different thing too. They're really fun to work with. Professionals are fun to work with too, but it's a different thing. So when I see a play of mine, I get nerves and nerves opening night and stuff, and I get excited when the play is being rehearsed too. It's a great process. I love the process.
Yeah, because you're always in your mind, you're like, okay, are they got are like is that right? Like there's people will have so many different opinions on certain things. Like, okay, like no, that wouldn't actually happen in real life. And so like in your mind, you're always thinking, but
Yeah.
ultimately, I always say with a comedy, if people are laughing, then you're doing your job right. And I think the first time I had you on the show, Norm, which was a few years ago, I remember you had mentioned the worst review that you ever got said that what was the worst review that you got? It said that you were. We had talked about that. What was that again? About we had said that you have to have a tough skin going into this, which is a big thing.
The worst review? Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, I don't want to brag, but I don't get too many bad reviews. But I'm sure I've had a couple. Um, I've always, I don't dislike it, but people say I'm Canada's Neil Simon, and that's quite a compliment. But I don't like being compared to somebody else. But I've got to be compared to somebody. Then Neil Simon's not bad. He's a great writer. But I can't think of anything that people have said about me that really bothered me. You gotta have like you say, you gotta have a thick skin when you're in the arts, whether you're an actor or a writer, because you're up for every time you have a performance, you're up for criticism. You're open for criticism from the audience, from the critics. So you gotta be tough.
No, 100%. And so even going through the Ladies Foursome, this was actually a not really a sequel, but it is a female version of the Foursome, which
Yep.
people had wanted you for years to do a sequel to it. What made this the right move to instead of just continuing on where you left off in the Foursome? Why did it feel right to do it this way?
Well, I just thought that it'd be not easy, but it'd be easy to convert the male play to a female play because it's set on a golf course and they're having conversations. Like we said, ordinary people would have a conversation on a golf course. It's not all about golf at all. It's about people going through life. So that's what made it easy to transition to. So when I got and I've only done this once before. I did it with the Love List. Donnie Bowes, in fact, the person you mentioned from Upper Canada Playhouse, suggested that I do a female version of the Love List. So I wrote the Woman's Love List, which is fairly new and it's being done all over now. But and that was an easy transition too because you just change the characters and then basically they're saying kind of the same thing the story's the same, but the four ladies foursome was a different story because they had a partner they used to play with who had passed away, and it affected all of them in certain different ways. So it was a lot different from the male foursome. It was fun, and I really enjoy writing for women more than enjoy writing for men. I think women are more interesting. So they're a bigger challenge to write for because I'm a man. What do I know about women? Nothing. So it's a challenge to write for them. And I really enjoy it. It's great.
Yeah, it's so funny because like even like during like as we're going through rehearsals and stuff like that, like the girls will even come up with different ideas of like, oh no, you wouldn't get it, you're a man. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, yeah. I know. And when I've written a couple of plays that are just women, and if in rehearsal, if a woman says no, the woman would say that. I'll say, okay, you're right. What do I know? So I'll change it. But yeah, but if I wrote a play for men and they say, well, he wouldn't say that. I say, yeah, well, why wouldn't he? Tell me. So it's a whole different thing. Writing for women, it's great.
but it all worked out. It really did all work out in the end. And so I mean, seeing how it all came together with this one, I mean, Patty, we'll start with you. Just getting into the character of Margot, who is, she's bitter, kinda. There's a little bit of a soft side to her. What was it like trying to get into that mindset of someone who, in the words of Mr. Bojangles, who drinks a bit?
Well, for me, other than the drinking a bit, it was fairly easy. Frankie, as you know, you often cast me with the sarcastic, snarky dialogue person. So that part of it is always easy for me because it's fun for me. It's not something I would do to that extreme in real life. So I really enjoy being able to do it on the stage. Not that I'm not sarcastic in real life, but I wouldn't be as mean. Definitely wouldn't be as mean. So those
Yeah.
roles are really easy for me because it's a real outlet to just snap at somebody and just say what's on your mind. So to get into that mindset, honestly, other than learning the lines, it was yeah, it was kind of easy. I don't know
But
if
it's
that's a good thing or a bad thing.
it's so funny because I think when it was this play, yeah, when I cast a Patty for this, and she said, "Why do you always cast me as the bitch?" It's the first thing she said. I'm like, but you're so good at it. You know what I mean? And then the way I said it, I said, wait, that didn't sound right.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, I know what you mean. But yeah, like seeing, because I mean, you obviously have to try to find good qualities in every obviously, yes, a character has a lot of bad qualities, but that, they're very multi-layered and not just one-dimensional. Like there's a reason why they might be bitter, and so it's really really important to find that too. And so for, of course, Margot having the trouble with her daughter and things like that, we really got to see, in a way, like, did you, as you started, like, the play, did you like Margot as a person, or did you always like her? And if you didn't like her to start, did she kind of grow on you as a person, like as you kept going with the process?
Did I like her? Not, I guess yes, but I found the role easy to play, but yet she was a little extreme. She was a little extreme with her bitterness and her comments towards her friends. It was another way that it was easy for me to get into it is I am a mother and I know how it would feel if I were estranged from my only child. So those monologues and little things that I got to say were easy because I could draw on. Also, too, my child is older. Well, he's not a child anymore. So that part was easy because I had life to look back on and I could maybe put my feelings into how I may have felt had that ever happened to me. Uh, yeah. So part of her, the fun part was good to play, but I didn't like, um, I didn't like how nasty she was to her friends all the time. It was like she wasn't giving them any grace sometimes.
It's like, even though you understand why she is, it's like, okay, does that make it any better? It's almost like
Yeah.
in real life when someone snaps at someone and says, "Oh no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just stressed out." It's like, okay, it doesn't make it better. I understand why you're doing that, but so
Doesn't make it okay.
yeah, no, exactly. And I love that you mentioned, of course, the whole being a mother thing, because you guys had mentioned all four of you guys being moms yourselves, really could relate to certain things when it comes to, like, the characters having kids and things like that. Tate being a stay-at-home mom. Who, first off, Heather, it's great. It's great to see you back on the stage. You of course took a little bit of a break because you had kids, and it's great to see you back on the stage. What was it like coming back to the stage after such a long break?
It was exciting. It was really exciting, first of all. And it wasn't so much that I had kids that made me take the break. It was my husband went back to school. So he was doing like the Saturday option for his education. So then I was solo parenting a lot of the time, and which was fine. Like you do those things in a relationship, but his degree wrapped up. So it's like, okay, it's time. I want to get back on the stage. And it was just really interesting. I think this was the best role to come back with because Kate was going through kind of a similar experience. Like she wasn't working at all. Like I was still working, but she was kind of trying to find herself, and I was able to connect with the character that way. I found that connection really interesting, and I just think that was the perfect role to come back with.
And she even still has the sippy cup that she was using on stage too to
It's my
hide the
Stanley. I
drinking.
use it every day. I was gonna get a nicer one, but I was like, well, why fight with what you know?
I don't really call that a sippy cup. That's a sippy cups for children, little babies. Which character had the the child named Nigel?
That was
In
Tate.
That was me.
God, that's my funniest. That's my favorite line in the show. When a woman says, "You've got two beautiful children and Nigel," that's my favorite line in the whole show. God.
Norm, was there
Yeah.
someone in your life named Nigel that you didn't like, that
No,
you
there
had
was
to write
never.
that?
No, never. No. And by the way, I don't write any. We're talking about Margot. I don't write any villains in my plays. I don't write. Sometimes they could be unlikable people, but they always have a reason for, like you said, they have a reason for how they act that way. There's a backstory to them, and we understand why they are that way. We might not like it, but we understand it, and that's the main thing. I don't write villains that we just hate. I don't want people to hate somebody in my show. That's all. Yeah.
Well, no, and that's and like we'll even see that. Like, I even see that in some like old movies and like sitcoms I'll watch. When I watched Full House as a kid and I see how some of the kids are acting, I'm like, oh, come on, like like, go easy on them. They're just kids, and
Yeah.
or even some of the adults. And then I watch it today, I'm like, no, they were in the wrong. You know what I mean? So it's like, they're not bad. They're just, it's like, so there's always it's very realistic in that way. Were you surprised, Heather, by the kind of the twist that Tate was drinking the whole time, or did that shock you, or?
Yeah, when I got through, I didn't see that coming at all. So when I was first reading through, I was like, "Oh my god!" I thought that was a riot, and it let me kind of like having that knowledge, like whenever like Margot would reference her drinking, I would try and like take a sip just to kind of see if anyone, I don't know if anyone did catch on, but it was just like all these little references to drinking throughout the play. And then it was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's not actually Margot, it's Tate with the problem. I like that.
That was a really good twist, though. Like that was a great twist, because as soon as they're talking, well, she said Winnie is a problem drinker. Even the audience laughs, and they're like, yeah, like it's Margot, And then, as it's kind of revealed and we learn that she's talking about how she's not satisfied with life and things like that, that's when it was, brilliant twist in that way. And speaking of brilliant twists, with, of course, Connie and her whole situation, which was her husband. What was it like kind of getting into that mindset, Kim? It was so funny. Your husband came to see the show too. And I said to him, I'm so sorry that you had to see your wife like that.
Oh, he doesn't mind. He knows I'm a bit of a drama freak anyway. So no, that was a very fun role to play. because it was very dramatic. She was, she was a little over the top with her man chasing, and it made it really fun. I remember in one particular case, Frankie, you had said, okay, when you do the part about the tool belt, make sure you really, really get into that. And it's like, don't worry, honey, I already had that planned. Like, I was ready to milk that one.
That's
Yeah.
great. Good for you.
This episode of the Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Holy Hydrogen. Okay, guys, let's be real. We all try our best to stay hydrated, right? But not all water is created equal. That's where Holy Hydrogen comes in. They've got this awesome device called the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium Edition, and it takes clean water to the next level by infusing it with molecular energy. That means you're not just drinking water. You're giving your body extra support with every sip. Better energy, less inflammation, and a real boost to your immune system. So try the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium Edition today by going to shop.holyhydrogen.com/Corcoran and use the promo code Corcoran for $100 off your purchase. Again, that's shop.holyhydrogen.com/Corcoran and use the promo code Corcoran at checkout. Stay hydrated and stay healthy. The Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Podmatch. When I first started this podcast, one of the biggest challenges I was faced was simply finding the right guest. I'd spend hours scrolling through social media, sending cold emails, trying to track down people who actually shared similar interests and aligned with the vision of my show. It was exhausting, time-consuming, and honestly, kind of felt like a guessing game. That is why I wish I had discovered Podmatch sooner. It is the ultimate platform built to connect podcast hosts with prospective guests effortlessly. Instead of wasting your days hunting for the right fit, Podmatch uses an intelligent, automated matching system and pairs you directly with like-minded creators and experts tailored specifically to your niche. Whether you're a podcaster looking to elevate your show to new heights, or you're a guest hoping to share your expertise with a broader audience, Podmatch completely simplifies the entire process. If you're ready to save time and grow your brand, head over to www.joinpodmatch.com/Corcoran Entertainment and sign up today for only $6 a month. That's right, you heard me right. $6 a month to join the Podmatch family and never struggle to find the perfect guest ever again. Thank you for tuning in to the show and happy podcasting. Because that's one of the best things. Just there's so many good one-liners that it's like you want to make sure. Because even there's the 12th tee where it's just silence. That got the biggest applause in that scene every night. That scene got the biggest applause because I said it's just like. Even though there's no words, it's just through your actions, the thud, the clearing the throat, and the like the grunts and everything like that, and the facial expressions. It was just like, make sure to just milk every moment, and that's always a big thing. Is that something, Norm, that you always encourage people to kind of, you want people to have that kind of leeway to like make sure that you really go for these moments?
Well, yeah, for sure. When you said milk, I think there's a stopping point. You have to pull yourself back at one point. Don't go over the top with it, but to milk, to go for the laugh. Yeah, I love it when people go for the laugh. Yeah, actors go for the laugh. Sure, that's what they're there for. Go for it. Yeah,
they're there for the laugh, and they're there for the heartbreak. Which
Connie, that's the thing
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, because of course Connie had, first off, Kim having the two big monologues, she looked at me and said, man, she said, what? She said, wow, why are you giving me all this to do? But you crushed both of the monologues too. But the one, of course, with the husband, what was it like when you're it's so funny throughout at the start, and then all of a sudden you have to be really, really serious. What was it like for you, Kim, acting that out where it's funny, and then you have to be serious when you're talking about what happened to Connie's husband?
Yeah, and I know, and I think there was some audience members that expected, okay, what's going to be funny in this? And there's nothing funny in this. Like it is a big change, so you kind of got to start and just really work your way down to make the audience realize, no, I'm bearing my soul here now. And this is the real backstory as to why Connie is the way she is. So it was really a matter of trying to, really bring yourself down and bring the audience down to that really sad
And you don't want the
experience.
audience, you don't want the audience to laugh during that
No,
either. That's
no,
bad. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's a
Maybe in
fine
the first
line.
night.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
The
at
first
first they
night,
were, right, Cam? They were laughing a little bit. I think they thought it was going to be funny.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
then it was kind of the tapering off. And
yeah,
then
Yeah.
yeah.
The biggest pop, though, I gotta say, was Tate's line about the Maple Leafs. That
Yeah,
got a
by
round of
far.
applause the first night.
By far, yeah.
What was the line about the Maple Leafs? I forget that. Because I'm a Maple Leaf fan.
Do you
I
know
probably
what?
put that
You
in.
know what we call losers? And then Tate says,
Yeah, I know what Bobby calls them, the Maple Leafs. And I knew that was going to get a reaction. You don't know, right? Because like they're pretty used to getting a ribbon, and I think they're good sports about it now. But
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for that. I don't know. I liked it. That was fun.
No, that's
Yeah.
good.
Up there
That's
being like,
good.
okay,
That's good. Yeah.
yeah.
But the thing like about these shows too is that I mean, like, you look at a show like this, it was about 2.5 hours long. And it's you always look at some plays and you're worried like, okay, like, it's 2.5 hours long. Hopefully it's not, not boring, but like, hopefully it's not, they actually add some stuff that makes it worth it. And the fact that this one here, it was just laughter,
Mm-hmm.
to the point that you didn't even, some of the people didn't even realize what time it was, like I said, the fact that, keeping them engaged like that for that long is a big, it takes talent. It really, really does. And is that something, do you ever think about that, Norm, like as you're writing scripts and things like that? Like, do you ever think like, put yourself in the shoes of an audience member and think like, okay, if I put this in here, what are they going to think about that? Are they going to be offended by this? Should I do that? Like, do you kind of try to put yourself in their shoes? Like if I was watching this play, how would I
Yeah.
react to this?
I think about that all the time. All the time I think about what the audience is going to react to. Whether they're going to think this is funny or not funny. And I think about that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, seeing so many shows over the years and stuff like that, and afterwards people are watching it and going, oh, they should have done this or they should have done that. And then
Yeah.
once you start writing and directing and stuff, you're like, okay, I need to keep that in mind now because, I don't want to be a hypocrite,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say this show was 2.5 hours long?
It was probably about 2.5 hours with our laughter. It got to about 2.5 hours.
Well, you really did milk it, didn't you?
I took Jesse's advice, Donnie and Jesse's advice, right to heart. I said, all right, we're going to go for it.
Yeah, no good. That's fine.
And that's so just to kind of look back on the whole, because I mean, we started this a couple months ago, and it was such a rewarding experience to see how it all kind of came together. Kim, we'll start with you as you kind of look at the whole experience of the Ladies Foursome from like defining the character. And first off, I just want to say too that I really got the best of the best for this one because I always, when we're scheduling rehearsals, I'm like, okay, guys, so tomorrow we'll take a day off tomorrow. I want us to rest. And Patty's the first one to go, all right, guys, we're all going to meet up at my place and we're going to practice. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. I'm like, take some time for yourselves, guys. You guys are working hard. But you guys just really, really were so committed to making this the best show possible, and it really showed. Kim, we'll start with you. How would you kind of summarize like your thoughts on the show as a whole, your character, and things like that?
It was awesome. It was a lot of work, probably the most lines I've ever had to memorize. And as you get older, you worry, does my brain have the capacity to hold that all in there? So that was kind of my biggest fear, was remembering all those lines. But then it was, you got to have fun. And this was such a fun character. It was important that I made Connie fun, and then the audience had fun with her. And it was very animated. And, I could really, when she was acting crazy, but then when she became the lieutenant there, kind of talking about the 18th hole, like there was a wide range of emotions and things I got to do on stage. It was a wonderful experience. And you never know how it's going to go. And I know, especially the first night, the opening night, Dory and I were still out back, and they started like roaring laughing at like the first line. And it really never stopped. That's why it added like 10 minutes to the show. It was just that funny. And that gives you so much energy. And you're like, okay, this is why I'm doing it. I love this. So great experience. Thank you for writing such a wonderful, fun play and a fun character to do. Love it.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you. It's nice.
And I loved Kim's too. Like I remember I mentioned this because Kim would have bullet pointing like everything like as she was learning her lines. And I said I went backstage and it looked like a homicide detective's quarters. I'm like, there's like all these lines here. Okay, so this comes here. That's who tees first. That was another big one too that you guys were talking about. It was not just learning the lines; it's making sure the tees add up too.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, I tee up here and then I hit here, and I may say something after it. So it wasn't just the lines. It was all those, scheduled movements as well. But so it's a lot of work, but well worth it.
It's one of the most difficult plays to perform, I think, that I've written because of for that reason, knowing when you hit, who hits first, who hits second. Yeah, it's very difficult that way. Yeah.
And it's something that I honestly didn't even think about. We got to what I just said, okay, it's just going to be the lines, just getting the lines down. And then we started going for the tees and stuff. I said, oh my gosh. I said, that just adds, I said, it literally feels like we're doing like musical theater or something like that. It's like, okay, do this dance move here and do that there. It really is like a dance. Yeah. And, it was great to see how it all came together. Heather, how about you? Just kind of seeing how the whole journey, like being back on the stage and just seeing how the whole thing came together. How would you kind of summarize your thoughts on the show and Tate as a whole?
Oh, I loved Tate. I felt, like I was saying earlier, I felt so connected to her just in like her experiences, her personality, her naivete in some points. She's like, really? And she just needed that external validation. Like, I loved that. And similar to Kim, like this is the most lines I had ever had when I looked at it. Like you asked me, and I was so honored when you asked me to be a part of a play. I was like, oh gosh, I haven't done this in years. And then you asked me, I was like, yes, great, finally. And I get the play and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in every scene. I'm in every scene. There was definitely some adjustment because I've always done the historical plays. I've never done like the comedic ones. So it was a different experience to get that laughter. And like Kim said, immediately after Margot says shit for the first time, they were roaring. I was like, okay, here we go. And it really, like, I can't even describe it. It was such a fun experience to take on that character and be on the stage and get that feedback. And just, I love the theater. I love doing that. And I can't even explain why I liked it. And it's funny because I was telling a coworker about the play and she's like, I never would put you as someone who wants to be up on a stage like that. Like, I'm very introverted. I don't socialize very much, but put me on a stage and I just love it. So it was a wonderful experience, and it's a pleasure to get to talk to you, and thank you very much for writing that play.
It was great. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. That's wonderful. I like that. Yeah.
Patti, how about you? How would you summarize it?
Oh, let me see. I had two little speeches to listen to, and I still don't have a good answer. How would I summarize it? It was, although it was, like the other two ladies have said, a lot of dialogue. I've probably had that much dialogue in other plays, but there was no time that we were off stage. So it was definitely challenging. I've been in a couple of other plays where we got some laughs, so that I was kind of used to. And it gives you a little high. It's like, oh, I said that and they laughed at me. That part of it is really fun. What I found interesting last night, the second night that we did it, the audience seemed to have a different reception towards Margot. I don't know if the other cast members noticed that, but when I would say some of my not nice things, people were like, "Oh," and I thought, it's not me, it's Margot. And so part of you or part of me, I almost take some of it personally because you've put so much work into the character. And even though I'm not like Margot, it was still my little baby for a couple of months. So it was rewarding, but then when you hear little comments from the audience, because we were so close to them, physically we were close to them, that part of it, I get a little bit, I want to run out and explain, no, it's not me, I'm not really that mean. But overall, I mean, it was definitely a good experience, and I do enjoy playing those. As I said at the beginning, I do enjoy playing those roles, but you do get a high off of it with the laughter.
So you only had, was it 2 performances? Was it only 2 performances?
2, yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot of work for only 2 performances, boy.
that was okay. That 2 performances.
Really?
All right, we're doing an encore tonight. We'll do a live reading on the show of it. That's let's.
One thing I was saying, I don't know if I said it last night or Friday night, but because the audience laughed so much the first night, I almost felt like I had to perform even better. That if we slowed it down or made a mistake, that we were letting them down. That was my feeling, because they were just enjoying it so much. I felt more pressure because I thought, okay, we have to keep up this momentum. We have to keep it going because we can't let them down. So Friday night seemed to be, for me, more pressure. Last night, everybody was just a nice amount of laughter. So that part was a little stressful. But.
I understand that. Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's that?
No, I was just going to say the thing I noticed about, like, there was lots of laughter last night. It wasn't as boisterous, but they applauded after every scene. Like, even after scene 12, when we don't even say anything, we still got applause when we left the scene.
They got the biggest applause, I think.
It got a lot of applause, that one. I was like, we didn't even do anything.
Like I said, you milked it. You milked the cow. And it really paid off. So like I said, Norm, like it's truly an honor to it's always interesting, like whenever like we're staging a lot of plays and it's getting to some people, they don't know the writer, the writer, you have to go through like 20 different people, or maybe they're not around anymore. But the fact that we have someone like you that it's you're local and you're so accomplished, and the fact that you're willing to come on here today really, really means a lot. And as I said, you're always busy doing multiple different projects and things like that. And your latest play, Danny and Delilah, it's called, that just premiered, right?
That's in Upper Canada Playhouse in Morrisburg. Yeah.
So like you're still doing stuff all the time, and it really means the world that not just you writing this play, but being here today really is an honor. So if you were to kind of give, Norm, like a piece of advice, like there's people out there who like maybe they want to be a writer, or they want to, whatever the case may be. We kind of touched on it a little bit earlier about like having a thick skin and things like that. What would you kind of say as like another piece of advice to any like aspiring writers or performers or anyone who wants to work in the arts? Any piece of advice for them?
For me, I would say do the work. You got to do it. I write every day for, like, I used to work in morning radio, so I still get up at like 4:30 in the morning, and I come here to my office and I start writing at about 5 o'clock, and I'll write, maybe 2, 3 hours. Maybe I rarely write in the afternoon, past noon. So I get my writing done in the morning. But the thing is, you have to do the work. I have a couple of friends who want to be writers, and they just don't do the work. And I keep telling them, don't spend your all day on a golf course. Like, I used to be a golfer too, and I quit golf because I thought I was wasting. I wasn't that good. I thought I was wasting my time on the golf course for 4 hours when I could be at home writing. So I stopped playing golf and just started writing more. And I've written like, like you said, 92 plays now, and that's because I put the work in, and that's what you have to do. You got to work at it. You don't just you can't just say, "Oh, I think I write a play today." It doesn't happen that way. It takes me 3 months to write a play. So a lot of work. So you got to put the work in. That's my biggest advice.
That's so funny. You quit playing golf so you could write a play about golf.
That's right. That's right.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I should do that with basketball. So yeah. So as I said, thank you so much for this. Thank you, like all of you guys, for as Norm said, putting in the work, and making it a great experience. And just thank you for we all keep the arts alive here, and it's something that I hold very, very dear to my heart. So thank you all for that. And thank you all who's listening. Maybe you guys are listening and you haven't seen the show, but for those of you guys listening who have seen the show, thank you for the support. And be sure to go maybe purchase the Ladies Foursome. It's online. Where can people purchase that, Norm? Is there a site that's probably the easiest to access that?
Ladies Foursome. Playwrights Canada Press, it's called.
That's where it was.
Canada Press, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. I was trying to think. I said, where did I get the script? I pirated it. No.
Can I ask you a question, Frankie? What
Sure.
made you pick that play to do this time around?
It's so like because as I said, like you always look at different plays and things like that, and it was one of those ones that I said, like as I said from the start, I said, you can have a great script, like the best script in the world, but if you don't have the people to put it together, then it's like maybe it's not worth it to do. And this is one of the ones that, I got a lot of Norm stuff. I read a lot of Norm stuff. I said I wanted to do one of Norm's plays for years, and was just trying to find the right time to do it. And so when I came across this one, the Ladies Foursome, it's always so good whenever you're doing community theater and who's around. And Heather had even said to me a while back, like, hey, like I'm looking to get back into theater, so just wink wink, if you need me. And so that as I started reading this, I said, I think this is the time to do it. I think this is the time. I'm like, we got the people. And so I wouldn't really say there's really one decision in particular that led to it, but it was kind of a combination of different things of just trying to find the right time to do it, really was all it was. So I think it worked out. It worked out for the best, for sure. And thank you guys all for that. So Norma, what can you tell us about any upcoming projects and stuff like that? Do you have anything else aside from you have Danny and Delilah, which just premiered? Is there anything else on the go? You write every day, so
yeah. I've got a play opening at the Foster Festival in August called Euchre Night, and it's for women. So yeah, I like I say, I like writing for women, and I think this is pretty good. About 4 women who get together once a week, play euchre, and like the foursome, it's not about the golf game, it's not about the card game, it's about they talk about their lives during this card game. So that'll be in August. I'm pretty excited about that one, and I'm working on a new one right now called Cross Country, about 2 people who are driving from Thunder Bay to Kelowna, BC, and they make stops along the way, and how they fall in love on the way. They barely know each other when they start, and by the end of that, they fall in love. So it's a romantic comedy.
So guys, yeah, if you guys are around, we'll have to do this one next.
Yeah.
Perfect. Foreshadowing. So yeah, thank you guys again so much. Thank you all for listening to today's very special episode. So we have Norm Foster, Kim Volpe, Patti O'Shea, Heather Cox, and Ashley Barrio is here in spirit. Thank you all for a great experience. Thank you all for taking the time. And for those of you guys listening, we'll see you guys in the next episode. But until then, this is Frankie, Norm, Kim, Patti, and Heather signing off. Have a great day, guys. Have a great week.
Bye, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.